Today, we're going to dive into 5 things that I think you absolutely must know once you determine you want to live here and you're ready to start that home search in a serious way. So first up on our list is going to be our inventory. We are still in a really low inventory market here in Knoxville. It is still a seller's market. We just did our June market update, and in that update, we've got all kinds of data. You need to check that out on the channel. But one of the things you'll see when you do that is that we're at a 1.84 months worth of inventory on the market. That's our absorption rate. So be prepared. It may take some time. You may or may not find it on your first visit here to try to buy a home. Great thing is if you're working with us, you don't have to be here to find that home. We have a way of doing that with you through video and then giving you the ability to walk through that home before you're fully committed to going through with the purchase. The second thing that I think is really important that you guys understand is that if you have a home to sell, you are not going to be able to come here to Knoxville, find a home that you want to buy, get a contract on that home here, contingent on you going back to wherever you're from and getting your home sold, especially if it isn't even listed yet. At a minimum, you have got to get that home on the market currently active. Secondly, even if it's listed, the chances of us being able to get you a contingent contract on a home that's a really desirable home, desirable areas where a lot of you guys are looking, is just very small. If you do get your home on the market and you can get it in escrow or pending, then we do have probably at least a 50-50 chance of that not knocking us out on a home. The third thing is, because it's a competitive market, you absolutely must be pre-approved. Almost every seller that we have, before we can submit an offer, is going to require that with that offer submission, we submit to them your pre-approval letter. Or if you're fortunate enough to be cash, you're going to need to come into town with proof of funds, meaning at least a bank statement, something that's current, showing how much money you have in the bank to cover that purchase. If you're getting pre-approved, don't just go online and do that. Reach out to us. Let us get you in touch with a local lender. That's because we are in a situation where it can be somewhat competitive. So you must get pre-approved, and it is really advisable to do that with someone who's locally known to get their deals closed, not someone who just pulls your credit, takes what you tell them, and based on those 2 things says, yeah, you're good to go with a home. The fourth thing on our list is to understand that prices are not dropping here in Knoxville. Well, you're going to say to me, Todd, we see online price reductions. If they're not dropping, what does that mean? Well, here's what it means. It means that most of the homes that are being put on the market today are still being put on at a price that is considerably above market. Sometimes the market has to tell them that they're being unrealistic. So they put it on at a price and say, well, we want to try. And then you start seeing the price reductions. So that's where you're seeing most of these reductions. You're seeing them because homes are just being overpriced. But when they sell, if you look at the closed amount, what you're seeing is they're still going up year over year. One last thing I want to say about pricing is this before we move on to number 5, because I have many of you will look up the tax record and you'll say, well, they've only owned that home for 2 years and they're wanting, 25% more than they paid for it. That's just absolutely not realistic. What matters is, what's that home worth today? In the current market, what's it really worth? That's the number that matters. So it's very important that you all understand that, and that we come to terms with that before you start going out looking at a home and you make an offer on a home that you really do want to buy and you don't get that home because you're stuck on what the current owner paid for that home. So number 5 is understand the neighborhoods. We work with a lot of our clients from 6 months to a year. Very important, because during that period of time, it's just not that we set up a search and you're looking at homes. We are educating you. We're trying to get you to come in for at least your first discovery visit. We want to put you in the car. We want to drive you around Knoxville. We want to show you the areas you think you're interested in. We want to determine what those areas are. We want to explain to you and show you how those areas live. All the things that you'll know 3 months after you live in the home that you buy. But if you don't know before and you get that wrong, you're going to be very unhappy in the home, no matter what home you buy and how much you love it. Everyone lives different. Every neighborhood lives different. Every neighborhood has some different pricing to it. We just did a map tour of Knoxville. You probably should check that out too if you haven't already. It's helpful. Make sure you have a really comprehensive understanding, because I say this all the time to people. You can add on to a home. You can renovate a home. You can do all kinds of things to a home. You can't pick that home up and move it. And how that home lives will eventually be much more important to you in the neighborhood, what surrounds you, and those things, than the home itself. I hope you found this video really helpful, really informative. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so below. If you have not reached out to us, do so. Schedule that Zoom meeting. And until next time, guys, can't wait to see you around Knoxville soon.